What up, baby? It's your boy, the ATX Sooner, back with another video. And it's Auburn week, y'all. Jackson Arnold, welcome home, baby. Nah, man. So, if y'all have been, watching the channel for the last couple years since I've been coming out with this content, you know that me, I'm the biggest Jackson Arnold apologist. I believed in the guy so much. I still feel like he's capable of being a really good quarterback in the NCAA. Um, I don't know if he's a pro guy yet. I'm not gonna lie, but I always had faith. Honestly, hot take for me that didn't really end out too well was he's gonna be our next Heisman winner. See how that went out. See how that worked out. I'm not the best quarterback reader. I'm not good at I'm not good at analyzing quarterbacks clearly. But either way, man, Jackson Arnold coming back home. Auburn versus the good old Oklahoma Sooners. Um, I love the kid. I love him. Don't get me wrong. I still root for him. I hope he does great. But as soon as that whistle blows, I got hate for you, boy. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, cause you is not finna do nothing. You gonna look exactly how you looked last year against this Oklahoma team. Not gonna lie. You're gonna look exactly how you looked last year against this Oklahoma team. Now, obviously, last year, like I always say, this last year was not Jackson Arnold's fault. Now, you can't do nothing about the turnovers. You don't coach turnovers. So that's 100% on Jackson Arnold. But outside of that, no wide receivers, no offensive linemen, no running game. Your offense was broken, and it wasn't necessarily because of Jackson Arnold, minus the turnovers. Don't get me wrong, but I do believe that like in the system that we run right now with a Ben Arbuckle, I feel like Jackson Arnold would thrive in this system. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. That's truly how I feel. I still like Jackson Arnold. I just know that once you walk into that stadium, everybody, and by the way, if you're going to the game today, going to the game tomorrow, wear crimson. Apparently, everybody, I ain't gonna be there, but everybody's supposed to be wearing crimson this game. So make it a whole sea of crimson booing that man, okay? Because ain't no love for Jackson Arnold on game day. Trust me, trust and believe. Ain't no love for Jackson Arnold on game day. I want to hear boos. I want to see the stadium get rowdy. I want the palace to be rocking with hatred for that man, Jackson Arnold. Now, once the game is over, hey, kudos. Hey, good luck for the rest of the year. Hey, you've been doing good so far this year. Better luck to you. But once that whistle blows, enemy, you're behind enemy lines, and there's no love for you at that point. Okay. Now let's talk about this game, man. Anyways, that's my little Jackson Arnold rant. But I'm not worried about Auburn. I don't know. The Temple game, I didn't feel the need to break it down. I probably should have broke it down, but really, everything was stamped for me. RB1, stamped. Can we run the ball? Stamped. A wide receiver's been balling. Quarterback, never had a question at quarterback all year. So, defense is defending. Like I always say, the defense is defending. Okay? We might end up having the number one defense in the nation this year. And that's going to be the problem for Jackson Arnold. Now, we all know, we had to go through a whole year of this. When Jackson Arnold gets pressure put on him, he starts seeing ghosts. He start getting jittery. He start worrying. He start getting in his head. And then he starts turning the ball over. Okay? And he can run the ball all he wants because he like to fumble too. Okay? And with this Oklahoma defense, best believe it's going to be some turnovers. Even though we haven't had one all year, I can see it happening now because there's no way in hell that Jackson Arnold is going to be on that Oklahoma field in the Palace and not see any pressure from that Brent Venables defense. Best believe that he is going to be running for his life in the backfield. Okay, and that could be a good thing for him because he does like to. That's what he's been doing all year. He's been running. Okay, not for his life necessarily, but he's been running all year. Oklahoma is going to make you throw the ball. Now they got really good wide receivers. Don't get me wrong, and this is going to be the first test for this Oklahoma secondary. Michigan, no test at all. Temple, no test at all. Freaking South Illinois, whatever we played, Central Illinois, whoever, directional Illinois State, whoever we played, no test at all for this defense. Auburn is going to have better athletes at the wide receiver position that we've seen all year. Some of the best athletes that we've seen all year. And we got faith in our cornerbacks. We got faith in our secondary. We really feel like they really can hold it down for us. But I feel like this is going to be the game that kind of, lets us put the stamp on that cornerback group. But at the same time, I say that, I really don't believe that. I ain't going to lie, I really don't believe that. Because it don't matter how good these wide receivers are. If your quarterback is under pressure 24/7, not able to make the correct reads, not able to having to play on the run all game long, that's gonna work out in our favor. I mean, are y'all worried about this game? Should I be worried about this game? Because I honestly feel like we're gonna whoop Auburn. Okay, I feel like Auburn is gonna come into Norman, just like we came into Auburn last year, and we handled business. Guess what? It's gonna be the same. Okay, and don't make it personal. Now that Jackson Arnold's here, hey, you made it personal. Hey, anytime you see your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend out in public or something like that, you better be looking the best you can, okay? Because you want to make them, you need to make them realize, hey, should have stayed with them, should have kept them around, okay? And that's exactly what we need to be making Jackson Arnold feel like when he gets on that bus heading back to Auburn, okay? And I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. Jackson Arnold's averaging like under 170 yards passing. And they've been playing scrubs. I don't care what nobody says about Baylor. Okay? They've been playing scrubs. And by the way, a lot of people like to talk about that Baylor game, that Auburn and Baylor game, how, that's the best competition they had. But hey, it's the reason we're not in the Big 12 no more, buddy. Okay? This ain't the same Oklahoma team, and we was dominating that league. All right, but we found this thing called defense. You probably heard about that, looking, paying attention. If you've been a fly on the wall watching this Oklahoma team, you've probably heard a little something about defense, something that you ain't hear about Oklahoma the last decade. Okay, yeah, it's here now, and it's great for all levels, from the front seven to the secondary. Of course, again, gotta preference that by saying the cornerbacks have not really been tested. But when they have had opportunities, they've shown out. All right. This is the most physical defense I've ever seen in my life in an Oklahoma uniform. Okay, and I freaking love that. Y'all talking about get rid of BV. Shut up. Shut up, please. This dude, all he needs is a good offensive coordinator, and we're going to the promised land. And look what we got this year. All right, and best believe when we have probably the toughest schedule Oklahoma has ever played in the history of Oklahomandom. when you got something like that, you best believe it's not going to be like that next year or the year after. Don't get me wrong, the SEC's tough and all, but you see how it's looking right now. When we supposed to have the second toughest schedule in the nation, you see what it's looking like. It's looking pretty manageable for this Oklahoma team. And this Oklahoma team's only going to get better. I said 2025 is the year. Now, we've had some hiccups. Okay. We've had some hiccups that might push that along. But I'm sticking to it. This year is our year. Okay. I'm not scared of nobody on this schedule. I'm not even scared of LSU no more. I'm not. LSU got a good defense, but is that offense going to be able to move anything against our defense? I don't think so. Lord will say the same. Nobody gets banged up. Nobody gets hurt or anything. But Oklahoma is top tier this year. Look at me rhyming on accident. Oklahoma is top tier this year and going forward. So SEC, welcome to Oklahoma. Okay. Yeah, I heard the whole, hey, Oklahoma gotta adapt into the SEC. Blah blah blah. Look at how Texas did. Texas has adapted. Well, guess what? Iron sharpens iron, and Texas has been playing nothing but plastic since they've joined the SEC. Oklahoma been ironing iron. Okay. And look, and you can see it. You can see it. The toughness of this team, the physical, how physical this team is. You bet if we played a schedule like Texas, this team might not look the way it looks. But no, since they want to throw us in the deep end, say you better swim. I noticed in the Big 12, you was Michael Phelps. Well, you better swim in the SEC. And look at us. Look at us right now. Olympic level swimming going on. You understand me? Now, I ain't even really, man, look, I just feel like we're going to whoop Auburn. I feel like we might give up 2 touchdowns, maybe a field goal. Let's do the score. The score, I got it 34-17. Let's just give them 2 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I could see it more being like 34-10 or something like that. But for this to be the toughest game that we're going to have this year, since Michigan honestly, they just didn't look that good to me. We'll find out this week when they play Nebraska. But I'm kind of not really, hyped about that Michigan win anymore. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. We'll see this week. Like I said, we'll see this week. I don't want to downplay anything Oklahoma, any dub that Oklahoma has this year, and I hope Michigan wins out so that just make us look even better. But I'm not worried, guys. Not worried about this Auburn team being led by Jackson Arnold. Okay. Yeah, that sounds disrespectful. Yeah, I love the kid, but Jackson Arnold. Yeah, the running back. Okay. All right, let me stop being disrespectful because Jackson Arnold has all the tools to be a great quarterback. It's just up here. It's just up here. That's the only question. Up here. And Brent Venables is going to test that a lot. You remember how practice was last year? How the reports came out about practice last year? Offense couldn't move nothing. Offensive line banged. Now we were banged up. I get it. I gotta keep saying we were banged up, but it's gonna be more of the same. Okay, we got the best defensive line in the nation, the deepest defensive line in the nation. Okay, and I'm proud to say that. Linebacking core, great. Guess what? Yeah, they're being coached by Brent Venables. Of course, they're gonna be great. All right, secondary, phenomenal. Okay. This defense is going to get us a ring. And I hope it's this year. But guess what? They're coming back next year. We built to last, baby. Like this ain't the whole. And guess what? We ain't spending $100 million on our roster like everybody else. Now, don't get me wrong. We spending some money. And we spending some money. We spending some change. We got a $3 million quarterback. Technically $1.5 million, but we got a $3 million quarterback. So don't think Oklahoma don't got the ducats, because they got the ducats. Okay, we spending the ducats, but we not doing like Texas Tech. We not doing like Texas. We not doing like Miami. We not doing like Ohio State, Michigan. We don't have to do that, because at Oklahoma you get developed. All right, yeah, that 5-star looked real good coming out of high school, but guess what? You haven't played a college snap to earn. Once you put that college uniform, that 5 stars gets thrown out the window. Now it's time to be developed. And guess what? At Oklahoma, all the recruits out there, if you happen to be watching this video, if you happen to stumble upon this beautiful face right here, get developed at Oklahoma. Because that's how you make it to the league. That's how the league don't care about your 5 stars. They want to know how you did it at your college program. And at Oklahoma, we develop offense and defense. Ben Arbuckle, please stay long. Please stay for at least 3 years. Please stay for at least 3 years. But regardless, we develop. We got the best offensive line coach in the nation. And some of y'all were talking about getting rid of the man last year. How dumb do you sound right now? Okay? Because he got a rotation of guys that it don't matter if you're banged up or not. We don't see much of a difference. All right? And I think we found our starting 5. I think we might be starting the same guys that we were starting against Michigan this week. But guess what? You know why? You know why we're able to have that confidence at the O-line this year? Yeah, because we got the best O-line coach in the nation. Y'all better put some respect on Bill Beatonbow's name. Got to. All right? Now, like I said, 34-17, Oklahoma, of course. Jackson Arnold, he might break a run here. He might get a deep ball here and there. You know, it's not gonna be enough, kid. It's not gonna be enough. So, pick your head up, Jackson Arnold, and prepare for the rest of the year. Cause once you come back home and step into that palace, you're gonna see we upgraded. Because we got a John Mateer on our end. No offense to you, Jackson Arnold, but one day you can hope to be a John Mateer. And honestly, I feel like that's a great comp. I feel like Jackson Arnold is a young John Mateer. You know, only difference is John Mateer got to sit for 2 years behind a Cam Ward or something like that. And then I don't know. He got to learn from a Cam Ward versus a Dylan Gabriel. Now, I don't want to sound disrespectful. I love Dylan Gabriel, but if you play in the NCAA for 15 years, you better be good. Okay? So that's all I got to say about DG. I love you, DG. Good luck at the Browns, where there's not much luck. But anyways, that's all I got for you. I'm over here rambling, man. I really don't think that this Auburn team is going to be able to run the ball against us, because I don't think any team is going to be able to run the ball against us. Will they break a run? It might happen. I'm not sitting here saying that you can't break a 50-yard run, but throughout the game, you're going to be stagnant in the run game. And we're going to force Jackson Arnold to step back, read our defense, and make the correct decision when it comes to throwing the ball. And that's something that we all know. Unless freaking... Who's Auburn's? Hugh Freeze? Whoever the freaking head coach is at Auburn, unless he's got some type of quarterback voodoo and he's able to freaking blow a spell on Jackson Arnold to where he's just the best quarterback in the nation now, I don't see that being the case. So Brent Venables is going to make you throw the ball because you're not going to be able to run the ball. Okay? Do we need a spy for a Jackson Arnold? I don't like having a linebacker just kind of floating, not doing anything, but might need one for this man. But, of course, we got the defensive ends to keep him in. So he's going to have to step up in that pocket and make some decisions. But guess what? When you step up in the pocket, you might be worse off. There's just no getting around this Oklahoma defense, man. We're just dominant. Just dominant. And that's what I love. I love to be able to say that as an Oklahoma fan who my whole life pretty much outside of the Bob Stoops era, before Lincoln Riley was hired, we had a pretty good defense with the Brent Venables there. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all, man. I mean, I expect an ass whooping. I expect Auburn to come into Oklahoma and leave with their heads down. And Jackson Arnold, like I said, keep your head up because you still got the rest of the year ahead of you. But just know, here, as soon as you step into Norman, Oklahoma, you start to feel a little cozy. You start reminiscing. You start remembering stuff. Oh, man, I used to go to that locker room. Oh, I used to turn that way. Oh, you start telling your teammates, oh, yeah, hey, man, yeah, that's the weight room's over there. Oh, yeah, my classroom is over there. Yeah. Once you start getting those feelings, just know that once that whistle blows, everything that you remembered, everything that you reminisced about, everything, all your good memories, they're against you now. Okay? So good luck with that. Not really. Not really. I don't wish any luck on Auburn this week. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I forgot to even say that opening the video. Y'all like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Same exact name on Twitter as it is on YouTube. As same as TikTok, since they never really got rid of that like they said they were. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all send me something. I'm following back on Twitter too, by the way. So if I don't get on Twitter that often, but when I do get on, if I see all the people who follow me, I'm following you right back. Be patient with me. Don't hurt me. Don't cuss me out. It'll happen. All right. But yeah, man, I hope y'all have a great day. Everybody who's going to the game, make sure y'all stay safe. Make sure y'all flood that crowd with crimson. I want to see a sea of crimson in the palace, roaring, roaring, and booing Jackson Arnold. All right, and y'all know why we gotta do that. It's only one reason. It's because it's in our DNA. Used to be in Jackson Arnold's, not anymore. Baby. Bye.